Anytime you beat Denver, anytime you beat George, it's a hell of a win, and so I'm very, very pleased. It's these two. It's a great way to go into the break, but more importantly, it's a great way to bounce back from that San Antonio game and get to be two pretty good teams.
You heard from PJ Carlesimo after the Nets' big 119-108 victory here at the Barclays Center over the Denver Nuggets. I'm Dexter Henry for NetsDaily.com, joined by Tom Lorenzo for NetsDaily.com. The writer gives you all the great inside scoop on the Nets, and the Nets had a big victory tonight, as you heard from PJ. 2 wins in a row before the All-Star break. How impressed were you with the Nets on the night when they hit 16 three-pointers, Tom?
It was a very impressive performance by the Nets. Scored a season-high 119 points. C.J. Watson just had a fantastic game, scored 25 points, hit 5 threes. Joe Johnson with 26 points, made 5 threes. It was just a great performance, inside, outside. Chris Humphries got involved. Even Reggie Evans played a nice game, offensively, defensively, off the glass. So overall, you look at the offense from the Nets, and it was a fantastic performance, almost flawless. Little improvements they need on defense. It's a tough team to defend, the Denver Nuggets, but offensively, it was just about as good as it can get for the Nets.
Before we get into the Nets record here at the All-Star break, let's talk a little bit about defense. I heard a lot from fans on Twitter talking about the pick-and-roll defense. We've seen the Nets struggle with that from time to time this year. How do they improve on that? What can they do to work on that in the second half?
It's tough. They have their moments where, they look like a good defensive team. They look like they might have gotten it figured out, but then they kind of lapse. They go through long periods where the defense just isn't there. You don't want to say it's lack of effort. I think it's just the fact that the personnel may not be up to snuff in terms of, what you have with defense. Obviously, Chris Humphries can be a bit of a liability on defensive end. Darren Williams hasn't played his best defense. So I think the problem is quicker teams really give this Nets team a lot of struggle, and that pick and roll defense, like you said, they've really got to work on, improve it. I think they're going to make some changes, make some defensive adjustments, and hopefully in the second half they'll get that fixed.
In the second half, that's something the Nets will look to do. They're 31-22 at the break, and talking to the players following this game, they are all pretty encouraged about where the team is at and believes they have a lot to improve on as they head into the break.
It's good. It's a huge confidence builder. It's a lot of momentum for us. And we want to take our time to rest during this break. And come back refreshed and ready to play Tuesday. I think we just continue to do what we did in these 2 games. I think these 2 games are a great microcosm of what we should expect in the second half of the season.
I feel good. I feel like we're in a good place right now. Get Darren some time to rest up and heal up. And, like I said, we'll come back Monday, get back to the drawing board and try to continue what we've started these past 2 games.
So as I said before, Tom, 31-22, the Nets 9 games over 500 heading into the break. They're second in the Atlantic Division right now, so they're in a pretty good spot. But what do you want to see from this team, other than defense, which we spoke about, as far as what they have to do to improve and get better in the second half of the season?
A lot of it's consistency. This team needs to be consistent in terms of both offense, defense. You see them come out sometimes playing that third quarter struggles. We've seen a lot of third quarter struggles from this team. So I think a lot of it's consistency, getting on their game, stretching out the offense, getting out, making their threes, getting Brooke, getting Hump involved in the paint. So if they can find that rhythm, find that consistency, I think they'll be okay. It's just the lapse where they fall back. Sometimes they kind of shrug their shoulders, don't believe in themselves. So you want to see some confidence, want to see some consistency going in the second half. And, I think those are 2 things that PJ is going to address as they're off here in this mini All-Star break.
As you heard from Tom talking about trade rumors, there have been a lot swirling around the Nets the past few days, whether you've heard Chris Humphries' name been involved in the trade, maybe going to Charlotte Bobcats for Ben Gordon. I saw a rumor today, actually was on NetsDaily.com, talking about a potential 3-way deal bringing Carlos Boozer to the Nets and reuniting him with Darren Williams. What's going on in this crazy, I can't even say crazy, crazy trade world of the NBA and involved the Nets? 2 questions here. Do you expect the Nets to make a move before the deadline on the 21st? And if so, who are the most likely candidates to get moved, and who can we see coming back to play in the Nets uniform?
We're hearing a different rumor every day, and I think we're going to continue to hear new rumors every day. Like you said, Gordon, Carlos Boozer, Josh Smith, Paul Millsap, all these names in trade rumors with the Nets. they're desperately trying to make a move, and I don't want to say desperately. They're trying hard to make a move. They want to improve this team. Billy King did say that he thinks that the team, as constructed, can make some noise, can be a really good team, can make a nice playoff run, and I think that's true. Whether or not they're a title contender, that remains to be seen. I think there's a lot of adjustments that need to be made, but I do think they're really trying hard to make a move, and I do think a move's going to happen. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be the Josh Smith type move or the Paul Millsap type move. I think, like you said, the Ben Gordon trade rumor, maybe even the Carlos Boozer trade rumor, I think those are two that really, have a lot of, there's a lot of truth, if you will, to those rumors, because the pieces going out equal the pieces coming in. But with Gordon, with Boozer, I think those are likely trade room to happen more so than Smith and Millsap.
So as you heard from Tom, you can expect maybe a smaller level deal, not necessarily a big bang trade like most fans I know would probably like to see. We'll see what happens. We'll be watching everything that goes on this All-Star weekend. You come back after the All-Star weekend. The Nets have a home-and-home series with the Milwaukee Bucks starting Tuesday here at the Barclays Center, and they'll look to improve on their 31-22 record in the first half of the season. For Tom Lorenzo, I'm Dexter Henry, signing off for Nets Daily.